Hi guys, welcome back to the shop. Hey, today is election day, so be sure to go out and vote. And I want to show you what's going on this day. Let's go outside. My favorite time of the year. Not. We knew it was going to happen, we just didn't know it was going to happen. Well, we're just never prepared for it. But it's happening today, and at least it's not a blizzard. We had some wind yesterday, but not a lot. Okay, what I've got in mind today is I'm starting to clean up the parts on the CT-3, and I can go ahead and start on the foot pegs. I still don't have the parts in, so I'm limited to what I can do, but I have started cleaning this stuff up. I can go ahead and repair the foot pegs and do some inspection on the clutch and the Kickstarter, and we can actually go into that and make sure that that is okay. And we can't install it yet, but we can just inspect it and make sure it's okay. And I think it is. We just need to wind the spring a little bit is the only problem on that. But let's get on the foot peg problem right now. Okay. Like I said, the spring has come undone underneath here, and it actually belongs up here. So these are riveted on, and what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and drill this out, and we'll remove that pin. And since this is not a restoration, it's just a repair, we're going to use a new bolt and double nut. Or if I can find them, I'll use the nylock nuts. Either way, it should be fine. The other side has already been into. You can see where they've ground that off, drilled it, and put a cotter key in there, which is an acceptable repair. But I'll probably just go ahead and do the same type of repair over here. And I did notice, let's see. Hang on. I did notice when I was looking at this that we've got a break or a crack here in the kickstand. So I'll go ahead and weld that up also, just so the thing doesn't fall over and damage anything after we've repaired everything. So this is all pretty quick, easy fix. And I do have some new rubbers in stock, so I keep those around because I use them on just about everything. So I'll go ahead and put those on too, and we should be able to get this back up in top-notch shape here pretty quick. Okay, we got her welded up right here. That should hold it. And like I say, we're going to replace that pin with a bolt, and we're going to work on this end down here also. Okay, you can see on this side here how this spring is slipped down. Like I said, it goes on the top. Show you the repair here to the kickstand. That's where it was broken. Now it's secure again. So we're just going to go ahead and grind this off and pull this pin, and we'll replace it with a 5/16 bolt. So there's all the parts, and what we've got to do is just move this spring up, I think. I can't remember whether it's supposed to have that bend in it or not. Okay, you got to kind of be prepared here on these things because it's kind of a pain in the you know what. This thing, this hook on the spring needs to go up here. And of course it's going to want to slide back through the tube, so you've got to have something to kind of hold this up. And you've got to line up, the foot peg, the spring, and the bar here all at one time. So it's kind of a little project, and you need to have something to kind of fish that spring up there where it needs to go. Let's see, this is the top, so that's where we want the head of the bolt. Okay, so that's how it's supposed to be. And I don't have the appropriate size of bolts and all that stuff, so I'm going to double nut this on the back. Let me get this turned around here so you can see. And like I said, I'm gonna double nut it with Loctite. And of course this is on the bottom, so you won't see that. This is all you'll see up here, the head. And double nut it with Loctite, and then I'll just trim off the whatever's stuck out. So let me get with that. Okay, we'll just put a little Loctite. I'm using the grade A, or grade A. The red one, the good one. Just to make sure it ain't gonna come off. And of course this can't be super tight because it's got to be able to flip up here. So I'm gonna call that good. And then I'm just going to put some right down here at the bottom and run my other nut on. Then I can double nut these and tighten it up. That's not going anywhere. And it still works, and we'll just chop this piece off. Just like that. And of course this side, it's not very springy, so we'll just take loose the old repair, get rid of everything here. So I think this one is not looking quite right. So I may find a used one that I have used that's still good. Let me get this situated. We'll see if it'll work. So on this side, the double nut was a little too much because of the spring. So I kind of grounded it at an angle. It's still got Loctite in it. I've just, the second nut is ground at a little bit of an angle so that the spring will clear it. But it'll still do the job. And we were able to get that one to work. I think maybe if we give it a little shot of oil. There you go. So the foot pegs are fixed. I've just got to get the rubbers on. So we've got some OEM rubbers here. I've got this oriented the way it should be. I'm just going to give it a little shot of Ruglide there to help installation. Just like that. They go on pretty hard, but that should be the way, and we'll just get the other one on over here. Okay, so that's a done deal. And we're kind of working on this part up here that where it got all bent out of shape. There's a lot of stuff just missing here, and some of it's just got to be bent back. Again, this isn't a restoration, so we're just going to take care of the problem. See, we've got cables up here that are going to be replaced, so I've got a whole cable set I picked up from KDI, so we'll be putting all that stuff on. And these are pretty much just loose hanging here. There's a rubber pad missing on the tack, and of course all the hardware there, and the rubber pad's on the speedometer, but it's missing half of the hardware. So what I think I'm going to do is just try to pull everything loose and lay it back and pull the triple clamp off the top, and then try to slide the headlight ears up, straighten them out, put them back on. I don't know whether this fell over, or it actually looks more like a fall over than a, fell over and just hit this more than it does a crash, but you just never know. Okay, got all this loose. Yeah, it looks like it might come up. Kind of loose. Okay, we got her laid back. This side's not too bad. It's just going to take a little tweaking. Got our little spacer on the top there. This side, that's a little bit more. So let's take it up and see what we can do with it. Okay, I'm going to put my soft jaws in there, or copper jaws anyway, just so I don't add too much issue to it. And we'll see if we can just, I think I'm going to need to hammer it a little bit. You can see on top here where it's kind of bent over. It's kind of wanting to kink. And same probably here. So we'll just okay, I think that one looks pretty good. And this one isn't as bad, so it shouldn't be too awful. Same thing. Kind of wants to fold up a little bit there, so we'll help it along. Okay, looks pretty good. And we'll just try to get everything back on there like it came off. And we'll bolt this headlight bucket up first just to ensure everything is looking right before we go too much further. Looks like that's probably going to be okay. Hopefully we don't have any problem with any of these electrical wires. They look pretty crusty. I think maybe a rubber hammer is going to be in place there. Looks about right. And before I go to all the trouble to put these bulb holders back in, I'm going to pop them loose, look at the corrosion on them, and check them to make sure they're a good bulb before I go any further. Yep. That one's good. Let me get a wire brush and I'll take that corrosion off. And contacts actually look okay in there, so we'll stick him back in there. I know there's one of them on the other side that is burnt out, and there's a couple of them that the holders are really messed up on. But we've still got the insulator on this side, so I just kind of cleaned up the speedometer a little bit, and we'll go ahead and put it back on. So we can go ahead and just pop that one back in. It should work. And let's see, I think I've got that kind of wrong. There we go, maybe. Cleaned it up the best I could. Let's see, I think that goes under there and toward the back. But I've got to get it behind the back here. Let's see. Yeah, like that. I think that's because that kind of uses the speedometer to hold it down and to hold the light socket in. There. Okay. I didn't say anything about fixing the trip. Those are kind of hard to find and a little expensive, so I think he'll be on his own on that one. They've got these special little washers that goes underneath here, and then a clip goes in, and all of those washers are missing except for this one. Let me get those. Okay, got the tack and the speedo mounted. Of course, we don't know whether they work or not, but we're hoping they do. Bulb's all checked. Of course, this doesn't have signal lights on it, so I had one burnout bulb. I just took that one out that was good and moved it over to, I think, the neutral light. Those tack and speedo are always a pain in the butt to put in order to get those keepers in. You got to kind of compress the insulator there, and it's not fun. Why is this? I think it's because all this is not where it ought to be. The one bulb I couldn't check was this one. It's the high beam indicator. I just know that those are really difficult to get out, so I'm going to check it here. That way, if it's good, I don't have to mess with it. If it does, or if it's not, then I do. But at this point, yeah, looks like I'm gonna have to mess with it, 'cause it's not working. Darn the luck. Okay, I think it was just needed the bulb kind of moved a little bit. Yep, we're good now. It was probably just needing the bulb twisted a little bit. That's what I did. So we can get it hooked back up. So all the bulbs are good. Whether or not the wiring and the receptacles are, we don't know. So won't know until we can get it fired up, because this one needs to run. It's 6 volt, needs to run to power most things. Got that tight. And we got those all tight. So I think we're back together on the front end. Just got to get the bulb back in. And we should just go ahead and check this too before we put it back in there. That one's good there. Let's see, I think that should be ground. Let's see which one's which. Okay, it's this one over here is the ground, and then get that one. Well, there's not much value there, but it's certainly not open, so I think it's probably all right. So let me get that cleaned up a little bit, and we'll get it back in. So we go ahead and get that plugged back up. There's always so much stuff in there that you can't hardly get the bulb back in. There, I think about got it. These screws are getting hard to find too, so you don't want to lose those or strip them. All right. Kind of got all this back together. I've still got to get the speedo and tack hooked up as far as the cables go, but we've got to go ahead and replace all that stuff. I've got new tires coming, tires and tubes, so I'm going to hold off on hooking that stuff back up. I may go ahead and hook it up like up to the handlebars and whatnot, and just leave it unhooked as far as the brakes go and the speedo and whatnot. But I can go ahead and kind of get started on the cables. I just can't finish that up because I'm going to be pulling both tires off, or both wheels off. And still waiting on seals and stuff for the engine. So I'll get as much of it done as I can, and then when that stuff comes in, we'll take care of that. Everything's kind of corroded and rusted up. It's been sitting a long time. Yeah, it's not wanting to come undone down there. The bad part here is all the cleanup. I soak it in the ultrasonic cleaner to loosen everything up, and then I can kind of get in here and pry the rocks and the deep dirt out, and then I'll put it back in the ultrasonic, and most of this will come out then. And we got a lot on this side case. Everybody knows what all this stuff's about. It's just, you know, it's the worst part of it, but it's got to be done. I just don't want to put stuff back together grimy like this. But it's just kind of the place I have to put this thing right now. And the hot water with the soap really does clean pretty good. You can get in there with a brush a little bit and loosen stuff up. And like I say, I'm just going to lay that back in. I've got the most that I can get off of this, so it's going in too. And we'll just continue to let that soak for a while. Okay, guys. It's about all I can do at this point. I've got the front end fixed. I've got all the cables off. And like I said, I've got to put new tires and everything on, so that's going to be a little while yet. And I think I'm going to have to probably redo some cables, at least tape them up. You know, this wiring is just so bad. I really hate to. I mean, it's a lot of work to go through it because you got to take the ends and everything off. So I'll probably just end up taping the stuff up. It's not you know, it's not that big a deal, but it's not a restoration, so I really can't afford to put that much time into it. So we'll probably tape up all the cables up here. We'll just look at it and see. You know, I'll have to take the bucket back off and pull them through, and I don't know. If I do that, I probably just will put new vinyl on them. Anyhow, got a lot done today. I'm sure it doesn't really look like much. We did get the foot pegs all put back together and a little welding job done on that. So those go on after we get the cases on. It will go on without that, but it's much easier to put it together and then put the foot pegs on. So I've got that. I've got to clean up a bunch of bolts and screws, and I've got some other stuff up there in the ultrasonic cleaner cleaning right now. I've got all the clutch and Kickstarter, all that stuff here. I've already cleaned up the case, so this is in pretty good shape. We just need a seal for that, and of course we need our crank seals, but all that stuff's looking pretty good, so I don't think we need to fix anything there. It's just reassembly, clean up and reassembly. Got all the old cables here and the new cables. They came in today, and they were cold, so we're kind of letting everything sit here and warm up and stretch out again. These again, KDI reproductions on the cables, very good quality, and the whole set is a really good price. I was just going to put on like I think 2 or 3 cables, but by the time you order those individually, you just as well order the whole set and replace them all. So that's what we're doing. And you know, if you need stuff like that, give Dave a call, or look him up on eBay. He sells on there too. Good stuff. Before I sign off for the day, let's take a look and see what happened during the day. Looks like the sun's out just before sundown. So it's we got quite a bit. I'd say we got 6 inches probably. I don't know. Look at this. Yeah, good 6 inches, maybe 7. It looks like it's clearing up now, but it's 4:15 in the afternoon here, so it'll be dark in about 45 minutes. Okay guys, that about does it for today. Should have parts in a day or two, enough to probably start working on the engine. The tires will probably be along a little later in the week or next week. Showed you a little update on our snowstorm today, and again, it is election day, so go out and perform your civic duty if you're in the United States, and go vote. And I guess probably tomorrow I'll start on this again, but I don't know how much is going to come in tomorrow. I know some things will be here. So hey, thanks for going along on the ride. See you next video.